It's become tradition almost to do a tech video with Caley Fretz of Velonews here at the Dubai Tour each year, and this year is no different. This morning we went around the various tents and teams here at the Dubai Tour to see what's new for 2017. We popped over to the Movistar tent. They, of course, are on their Canyon bikes, which have had Campagnolo on them for quite some time. But last year, they had Shimano brakes. Why was that?
Yeah, so they're running the direct mount brakes, which has sort of two mount holes as opposed to the one of a normal brake. And for a long time, Campagnolo didn't make one. So they've been sort of available for a little over a year. A little under a year, and I think this is the first time that we're seeing them actually used in a race, the Campagnolo direct mount brakes.
They've got quite some clearance on them.
Yeah, a huge amount of clearance. That's one of the major benefits of a direct mount brake is you can probably fit 28, maybe even a 30 in there. I know with the Campagnolo, with the Shimano version, you can fit at least a 30 on most frames.
And you've also got a little bit of news from Canyon.
Yes, exciting news for the American audience out there. Canyon Bicycles is officially coming to America in Q3 of 2017. That means basically when the 2018 bikes are available, you'll be able to buy them in the US. That'll be August, September sometime.
Over at BMC, nothing particularly new about the frame sets apart from a new colour scheme for 2017. But one thing that's notable when you walk down the pits here is that there's also nothing new here with the group sets.
No, and actually there's only two teams here with the new Shimano Dura Ace that was just launched in Calpe, Spain about a week ago actually. Most of the teams are running old Dura Ace. I think they just simply haven't gotten it from Shimano yet.
Yeah, because Shimano, fully big sponsor of Team BMC, with all the wheels, etc. You'd expect them to have it by now, but presumably they're going to get it at some point in the spring.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, they're definitely using DuraAce that they had from last season. If you look at some of these derailleurs, they're a little scuffed up. They've definitely maybe seen the ground a couple times. I would expect that BMC's on the brand new DuraAce, mid-classic season sometime.
Merida have, of course, gone from Lamprey, which is no longer, and they're now with the Bahrain Merida squad. Again, nothing new really about the frame sets, but the cranks are new, Caley.
Yeah, so it's actually a SRAM power meter using a new SRAM crank arm, which looks like a collaboration with THM, which is a German manufacturer that makes super lightweight, very expensive stuff. They're supposed to be really, really light, and because it's SRAM, they're going to be obviously a good power meter as well.
You got an exact figure on the weight?
99 grams per crank arm, which is a little bit insane.
So we are now at Team Dimension Data's tent, and we found this on the roof, which the mechanics have kindly taken off for us, and it looks like a brand new Cervelo, Caley.
Yeah, and I did a little poking around in the UCI's website. Their approved frames list, so all frames that are raced in the World Tour have to be approved by the UCI. There is a new Cervelo on that list called the R5 rim brake, which I think is this bike.
So rim brake implying that there might be another option at some point as well.
I think that's probably a safe bet that there's going to be a disc option at some point. So we do know a little bit about this bike, A, from just looking at it, and B, because we've been doing a little bit of snooping on our own. The R5 is a climbing bike, obviously. This version clearly has some aerodynamic cues, so the down tube is a little bit fatter. It uses sort of a comtail kind of shape. The cables enter behind the stem here, just like the S5s, just like Cervelo's aero bikes. We do know that this is just a temporary wrap, and we're going to see the final 2017 colorway around the Giro.
So not only have Team Sky got their hands on the brand new DuraAce group set, they also seem to have some rather stealth looking DuraAce wheels too.
Yeah, these were launched along with the new DuraAce. So basically, Shimano's gotten rid of the C35, the C50, and the C75. Those are rim depths, 35, 50, and 75. Replaced it with the C40 and C60. These wheels saw a ton of investment in aerodynamic development, so they should be much faster than the previous versions. They're fatter. They have sort of a hybrid toroidal shape, which is this U shape that's become very popular, same as used by Zip or Head or Envy, most of the big wheel brands. So these wheels should be way faster than the previous Shimano wheels.
Certainly look better in my opinion anyway. I like them. I actually did a pro bike on Sasha Modelo's Colnago, which will be out on the channel shortly, but nothing too much that's new on there, but I could only spot 3 things on this bike that aren't Italian. Can you see what they are?
Garmin mount, power meter, and pedals.
Yeah, that's it. Took me a long time to research that. And on to the Bardiani team using these Cipollini bikes. We've already seen the brand new SRM cranks, but this is a new power meter to us, but not particularly new to the market.
No, I feel like we've sort of spotted an endangered species here. The B Pro power meter, which is a pedal-based power meter, has been around for, well, at least a year and a half, 2 years, but this is the first time I've ever seen one out in the wild. They sell one where it'll measure power on one side. That's a cheaper version. It's about $500 US, I think. And then they sell this version, which measures power on both sides, just like an SRM or anything like that. That one's a little bit more expensive, about twice the price, $1,000.
Caley, you are now stood with two fairly normal-looking tyres. Why are these of interest to us?
Well, because Aqua Blue is running Clinchers, actually tubeless Clinchers, which is somewhat unusual in pro racing. Almost all pro teams run tubulars when they're racing. The guys run Clinchers when they're training, but when they're in a race, it's always tubular time. What's interesting about these is that they're running the tubeless Schwalbes, which they said they're going to use them for the classic season this year, which is smart because you can't. It's much harder to pinch a tubeless tire. They can run a bit of sealant in there. They can basically fill small holes if they hit a staple or a piece of glass, something like that. It is, like I said, unusual to run tubeless in a race scenario, but they match up well with the Knight composite wheels that the team is running, and they seem to be working quite well.
Well, all that remains to say is thank you very much to Caley Fretz for giving us his time again this year. If you are yet to subscribe to the Global Cycling Network, please do so by clicking on the globe. And if you haven't yet seen Cy Richardson taking a look at the new Shimano group set from Alpe very recently, you can find that video just down here.
And if you'd like to see my special tech playlist, you can click right down here.